Good morning and welcome to this week's episode of the Pink Property Podcast. I'm Lee O'Brien here with my co-host David Kirby.
Morning.
Fellow directors here at David Lee. And we've got a few things to talk to you about this week. Last week we covered our sort of goals and ambitions for this year, and this week we're back to the sort of nuts and bolts of the business and what's been happening in our world and what we're thinking, feeling, seeing, doing in the property space at the moment. We're getting a slight problem this week with some of our vendors where they have to take themselves to for viewing. So we've had a number of properties listed, presented really well, beautiful videos, and are getting a huge amount of interest. So we're trying to structure up socially distanced half-hour slot viewings to be able to show these people over, and you were posed with a problem this week.
Yeah, so good interest in properties in Bishop Stortford and the surrounding area at the moment. So we've launched a couple of really nice family homes, one on Bishop's Park and one on Thorley Park. Lots of really good qualified buyers at the moment, all proceedable, all want to view these houses. And the problem comes when really you're only allowed to go out for 1 hour of exercise a day. So what does your vendor do when we've got 10 people that want to view their house on Saturday, which is 5 hours to do it safely and sensibly? Where do they go? What do they do? So
it's a new problem we're having to overcome this week, and resulting in long walks, regular walks.
Yeah.
And I think we're promoting the exercise of our clients at the moment by making sure that they're going out for their hour to allow us these opportunities to get these great buyers through the door. They're doing the virtual viewing, that we're doing it in the right way. You know, they're poring over the video, the key buyer's guide of information that we provide, and then it's that next step that people want,
quality
that
viewers,
touch and feel of a viewing to really solidify the deal.
We could have 30 viewers, but we've slimmed it down to the good 10. But we can't slim it any further. So we're stuck between a rock and a hard place. The property market's open and people are allowed to view houses, yet the vendors are only allowed to go for 1 hour exercise. They can go to Tesco's, but they can't take you can only have one person in Tesco's
Not
at
really
a time.
all
You
of
can't
you
go
going,
with your husband or wife or your
no.
partner. You can take your kids in there. Tricky one at the moment.
Another new problem for us to try and navigate this week. But I think we'll find a way around it, and we will make this happen, even if it just takes us that little bit longer to do it and see everybody through. Team reporting lots of first-time buyer activity as well to the market. We mentioned at the back end of last year that the 90% loan-to-value mortgages were coming back into the market, and we're seeing more and more first-time buyer activity. I mean, you had some viewings on a great property last week. What was the first-time buyer interest like there?
Yeah, good. Probably 60 to 70% of them were first-time buyers on a 2-bedroom sort of starter home in Bishop Stortford, £330,000. No one concerned about stamp duty race, because hopefully stamp duty will come back to where it was, that first time buyers don't pay up to 300 grand. So actually that wasn't a problem for them, just motivated people wanting to get on the market. Really nice to see. So,
lots of people taking that opportunity now, coming out of these rented accommodations that they may have been in before, moving out of the city where they might have been rented, and actually putting down roots and buying a good home that suits them in their life and how their life will look like over the next couple of years, with the right sort of space, garden, workspace, what people are really looking for. And I think going back to that listing that you had there was one thing that really made the difference in that Thorley listing.
Shiny, really nicely presented, beautifully decorated all the way through, well presented, very clean, very tidy, smelt nice, candles were on. It just was a beautifully presented house. The owners have made a big effort over the couple of weeks before they put it on to make it look as good as they could, and that is something that the full team are telling us about. If you want to get the best price for your house and you want to sell it in a timely fashion, get it presented well, make a bit of an effort, get the paintbrush out, clear the house, fill the shed, fill your garage, fill your loft with all your stuff, just present it well, minimal, Yeah.
It makes a difference, doesn't it? And,
Yeah.
and I think it allows us to achieve the highest possible price from the market right now.
Yeah.
People want that ready-baked product to
do.
go straight into,
Yeah.
and the interest that you got from that listing last week, and the number of people that wanted
Absolutely.
it, and the competition it created, it allowed us to achieve a fantastic price for the client.
Yeah, absolutely.
From the very best buyer that we can see
And a
in
choice
the market.
of buyers, yeah. There was 4 people offered on it, so they could pick the right buyer. And it went to a lovely first-time buyer, and I'm really excited for him. Yeah.
That's good. So yeah, good bit of advice at the moment is put that little bit of extra effort
Absolutely.
in, because it does make a massive difference.
Yeah.
And we're seeing a real rise in our virtual valuation offering this week. So I think lots of people are getting used to the ability, or to have the ability to be able to conduct these virtual valuations. Mark and Office is conducting one right now in the boardroom and talking to a client in Elsenham. And people are really getting their head around the process that we can really help and give as much advice over the phone. We can have a good look around the property.
Yeah.
We use some fantastic market data and research tools to be able to provide you with information and a full report. And I'm finding that is really picking up in generation and activity.
Yeah, working really well. I think it could be a thing for the future, actually, moving forward. If we could offer that sort of level of valuation without having to come through your front door, I don't see the reason why that should ever change. So we're doing that level, and then the moment where you are ready to pull the trigger and go on the market, we'll then come round with Jack to do photos and video. And if we need to amend the price slightly at that point, then we can do that. But yeah, so much is done before then.
Yeah.
Really safe way of doing it, and more practical for people. Mark doesn't have to drive out and see you. You don't have to interrupt your day too much.
As well,
It's
can't
quicker.
it? It's probably 15,
it's
20 minutes as opposed to 45, and so if you're a bit
Yeah.
time restricted as well, it can really work.
Yeah.
And on that virtual side of things, the YouTube channel is going crazy. This week, this month, we've brought some beautiful properties to the market, getting real activity going. More people are subscribing to the channel, so thanks for that, because that really works, because all of the properties are going there first before they hit Rightmove. I mean, we had a brilliant property on Thorley this week, 625,000, videoed beautifully. Hit YouTube 2 days before Rightmove, and we'd nearly filled our viewings available slot from that alone without it even hitting the portal. So remember to subscribe to the channel, because everything goes there first. I mean,
There's 250 views in its first 24 hours. I think.
It's huge.
Which is
So
awesome.
people are obviously getting that trigger, and they're seeing it come to market first. So that's really good. The stats speak for themselves, really. Nearly 3,500 views of our YouTube channel, and the properties on there this month already, and totaling about 82 hours worth of content. So our drive to provide more content this year is obviously out there, and that's working. But the videos of the properties are really going down a storm.
This is the future, isn't it? It's the way the market's going. It's the way that we work as agents, and it's exciting to see. Really looking forward to see how this year progresses.
Some new things that, like you say, I don't think they're going away.
No, not at all.
That's the new way, isn't it?
And I think it's great. We've spoken about this loads of times. The estate agency world is too dated, and has been. A lot of it doesn't look any different to the 1980s. We need to change that, and these sort of things, just to make life easier for everyone. It's the new world. And, exciting to see, and it's exciting to see that it's working as well.
No, it really is. It really is. So really keen to see how that's going to progress. So we've got a couple of questions this week. We've got 2 questions that have come in for the audience, which is great. First one, probably I'm going to leave to you as our resident letting specialist, is what are your top tips for new landlords? Have you got a couple of things that would be...
Take some advice. Speak to an agent like ourselves. Talk to the property manager in the company. Find out what you need to do to make sure you're compliant. Make sure you come to the market with a compliant property. We want to make sure it's right and looking good, and what you need to do that. pick the right property. Again, take some advice. If you're looking to buy something, talk to the local agents, find out what rents well, what the yields are like, where the demand is, and yeah, take some advice. Speak to the agent, buy the right thing, and make sure you're compliant.
What about sort of from a financial aspect? Is there things that they can do in the first instance to be better prepared there?
Yeah, again, I think that comes down to advice from the agent,
Yeah.
finding what is a good buy and what's returning well, and then take your financial advice. We've got Kirsty in our office, financial mortgage advisor that can help with that, and she'll work in line with you and our lettings team. So yeah, but take some advice. Yeah,
Definitely, and work on those goals. I think actually having an idea of what the purpose of this is. You know, is this going to be a single let? Is this going to be a property that you just plan to hand down to your kids in the future, or is this a business for you? Is it going to subsequent your income? Is it going to replace your income entirely?
Exactly.
And actually have that end goal in mind and start with the end in mind.
That's the opening that conversation with us, isn't it? Saying this is the plan.
That's what we'll do with you.
What should we do? And we've given some great advice over the years, which has manoeuvred people in different routes. So have a chat with us.
And second question, which I mean we probably look at this together, is I've inherited a property. Should I sell it or should I let it?
Yeah, good question.
Now, I presume by inherited a property it means it might not have finance on it, I suppose, but just a presumption. So a complete holding. Sounds like it's a person on their own, doesn't have to share it, but what would you do?
Yeah, I think it depends what you do with the money, really. If you don't need the money and you think, well, an investment's a good thing, cool, keep hold of it, brilliant. If selling it would change your life in a beneficial way by having the cash, then get it sold. I think that's a big route. If you are going to inherit something, likelihood is going to not be in the best of conditions. So if you are going to rent it, you might need to think that it needs some money spent on it. So have you got that extra cash to get it into a rental position? So quite a lot of questions to ask.
And I wonder whether tax might come into it as well. You know, if there is an inheritance tax bill to pay, maybe you don't need to sell it in order to pay that. You might be able to raise some buy-to-let finance on it to pay the tax, and then you're still holding an investment. The rental money that we can achieve for you covers the cost of the finance and probably gives you profit. And all of a sudden you've got another income source or a nest egg for the future.
Might not be the best investment. I've seen that in the past where someone's
inherited the wrong
property that actually you might be better in a position selling it, even if you want to stay in the rental market, it's to sell that because it's not the best one, and then we'll find you something better to buy in the investment market. If you don't live local to it, do you want to keep something that's a long way away? Probably not. So maybe sell it and then come back into the market closer to where you live.
So probably a few options, and some further sort of questioning, and again, end in mind. What's the goal?
Again,
what are we looking at?
So have a chat. Tell us what you've got. What your thoughts and feelings are. I think the quicker we can be engaged, the better. And you might take the advice, you might not, but I think the quicker we can be engaged, the better, because we can pose those questions to you. We can try looking ahead and find the right strategy and the right way through, and put you in touch with the right people and the right specialists that you need throughout the process. So that's brilliant. Thank you so much for those questions this week. We love covering those off. And that's all we've got time for this week. Thank you so much as ever for tuning in. And please remember to subscribe to the channel. Get the very next one that's coming out and all the property videos that we're due to release this week. Have a great Sunday. Super. See you next week.